go, Matt.
All right. Welcome to MJBizCon 2024.
That's what we need to pop.
But apparently you can dip THC now?
Is that, you know, again, this comes down to physics, right? There needs to be certain BPDs and different phases of the plant's life that we need to obtain in order for it to get maximum growth.
We have different.
EZTrim Harvesting's got a new high roller trellis netting with greasable bearings. Ooh, that looks nice. Adjustable height, multiple nets. You could pull all three of those at one time. Done. An automated lifting system on a track. Cloud duct system. In order to save space, these three ducts make one cloud shape in order to fit between the rack and the light for over canopy. People love these FabricAir fans. So they have 8 different speeds, super quiet, super energy efficient. If you're trying to dial in your inner canopy airflow, is the way to go.
Jake with Titan Containers. We're here at MJBizCon with one of our 10-foot ArcticStore units. This model goes down to -40. We offer it in 10 feet, 20 feet, and 40 feet sizes. We also have the blast freezer models that come in 40s and 20s. We can do a modular cold room build out. These go -40. And then we have the ultra freezer that can go down to -76.
So this product is going to be perfect for anybody who's looking to add a new product to their line that they don't have access to before. With the fresh frozen, we can place this container right on site for you and reduce the amount of time that the plant is outside of the cold chain. Alternatively, for additional storage for your product throughout the months when you guys have a high harvest yield and things of that nature. We also provide the blast freezing capabilities to with multiple reefer machines. That's going to increase the amount of airflow and get your freezing time down faster, which is at the end of the day what we're trying to do. We're trying to save the terps, right? So
Is this a pretty plug and play unit?
yes, it's plug and play. It's run on 480 volt, 3-phase, 32 amps.
This whole panel is very simple. Everything's just right there. All you got to do is plug it in.
I mean, the screen here, I mean, there's 4 buttons on here. You just up or down temperature all the way to -40, all the way up to 113 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, insulated box, fridge, freezer solution, ready to go, dropped off to your site, on the ground, dock height, whatever you need.
I'm Arnar Olgerson, co-founder of GrowWorld Systems here. So what we do is automated packaging systems for flower. And it's the only system on the market that's engineered specifically for flower. We're weighing out to 1/100th of a gram on a combination weigher. What sets us apart is that we use air to move the product. So there's, for all intents and purposes, 0 trichome loss. And, you know, that's a big deal. So what we tried to mimic is hand packing, just make it more efficient. So we're able to do about 1,200 units an hour So if you're packing 8s, that works out to about 60 pounds in an 8-hour shift with about 2 to 3 operators on this system. So you get really high output, high efficiency. So the labor savings is huge. I mean, if you're packing 100 pounds a week, your labor savings alone the return is enough to pay for this system in less than a year. But the other thing is, when you're hand packing, you've hand packed, if you weigh your product after the fact, you'll understand that there's always overpack, right? The consumer wants no less than 3.50. So you have to be over, right? And typically in hand packing, that works out to be about 3.7 grams on average. So you're giving away 0.2 grams on each 8. And over time, that's a lot of giveaway. If you come over here, you could see, whereas with our system, we're gonna average like 3.55. That's about a 5% overpack difference. So you're giving away 5% that you don't have to give away. What does that work out to at $2, $3, $4 wholesale a gram? It works out over 500 pounds that you've packaged. You've given away $30,000 worth of product. But you add that overpack, which is actually a bigger cost savings than the labor component. You've paid for this and you're making money within 6 months. It really is a great investment.
Everything's made to be clean, easily wipeable, cleaning speeds, flips down, folds down, working platforms. All tubeless. Move this up. Smell.
Oh, that's
And now you can
cool.
just wipe it. Nice on this. It take what, 10, 15 minutes to completely clean and turn this around from batch to batch? Yeah. Wow.
Hey everybody, welcome to the PocketDap. The PocketDap is a very innovative device. It's the first dosable dab device. This red wheel here, once it's spun and there's a click, it doses 0.01 gram of material from this chamber into the top chamber. The bottom glass chamber, it never gets heated. Your material always stays fresh, and every time you draw from the top chamber, it's a fresh dab. You can put up to 1.5 gram of material inside this. There's a puff counter and a battery gauge. The puff counter only works if you puff a true dab, which is 5 seconds or longer. People, just dab a little bit, it's not going to work. Okay. All right. This is a disposable version. There's 2 more versions to come, but that's it.
I just like this shape of this greenhouse. The arch.
You're looking at a fiberglass structure. The whole structure is made out of fiberglass. Virtually no heat transfer, whether or not you're doing in the winter or the summer. You can screw into this, you can nail into it, which you can't do with steel. It goes up very quickly. We could put up a 5,000 square foot structure in about 5 to 7 days.
MJBizCon.
All right, so my name is Chris Doan, and I'm coming to you from AzReader. Good enough. So what this is, it's a wireless, batteryless microclimate sensor. So you're not talking about any electronics. You put this plant stake down into the substrate of every single plant that you've got if you want, and now you can get a heat map or a moisture map of the moisture level of each of those plants, right? So think about something going on with irrigation, or maybe something's a little bit off with your fertilizer. Thanks. Based off that moisture level, you get that early indicator, right? So this could be something that could replace potentially an existing sensor system, but more than likely we see it as complementary, right? So the way that this works is you go ahead and you stick these again inside your grow medium, and then you're going to use a device like this. You walk through the space, and it's going to read up to about 20 to 30 feet, and it'll read about 300 to 600 of these per second. So you're not talking about trying to hit each one. You're literally just going to walk the space, and as you do that, you're going to capture, again, that heat map and that moisture map. You could do that once a day, or do it when you need to do spot checks, and now you have that data, that historical data, So you can compare and look at, okay, when we kept our plants in this range of temperature or this range of moisture, maybe we saw some differences in our yield, especially if you be able to do some trial and error with, your different grow rooms. All right. So that sensor that I was talking about, the way that works is down here. You can see there's maybe like a little bit of a bump there. Not sure if you can see it. So that's actually the moisture level sensor. So what that does actually is it gives you 300 degrees of moisture level. So what you'll do is you'll have your one example plant that this is the moisture level you want. It's dialed in with your fertilizer. You know that this is your ideal. We'll go ahead and put this sensor right inside that plant. With this device, we'll set the software to treat that as your baseline. And then every other plant, it's going to compare that moisture level within that 300 degrees to what your ideal plant setting is. And then that way, again, you get that moisture map, that heat map. And then it also captures temperature, but it doesn't capture temperature at this point. It actually captures it at the surface level, right? So a little bit more useful. But the moisture, we want to get right inside that grow medium.
How long does the data last? What's the historical?
As long as you want to keep it. So yeah, I mean, that's up to you. Exactly. Download it as needed. Pull it into, an Excel, or we can integrate it into some other system for sure. But, in terms of the interface of the software system, we keep it really, really simple. Fortunately, I can't show it to you right now, but keep it really, really simple so that, again, you can download that data. You can search for a specific, either a metric ID or whatever ID you're using for, your plants, and be able to look at the history of that plant and all those different values, or what the most recent scan was, what that heat map, that moisture map looks like. And the way that works is if you have, I don't have any metric tags on me right now, but if you already have some kind of identifier like a metric tag, when you first put the sensor in, you'll scan the QR code here, and you'll scan your barcode on your identifying tag, like the metric tag, and it'll come by, join those two. So when you're getting your information, you're seeing, okay, this particular plant that you already have in your other systems, this is what that data looks like.
Can you reassign that metric number each round?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, so these are reusable. We've got these in a different industry. They've been out in the field for 4+ years. So unless you break it in half or get real, actually you could throw this around pretty easily. So they're very durable, and you're going to be able to keep using them with each new crop.
So these are new for Aroya this year. These are runoff sensors. So you're going to both capture your feed and your runoff in order to understand what is happening and dial in some of your variables like your dry bags and your fill.
So here at Aroya, we are all about maximizing the genetic potential of every cultivar that comes into your facility through precision irrigation management. So what that means is we utilize the sensors that we've been developing for the last 40 years in your cultivation to provide you the most accurate information when you're going in and making your HVAC and irrigation decisions on a daily basis, making sure we're not overwatering or underwatering. We're using the correct amount of water, correct amount of nutrients for every single genetic. And it's going to vary from genetic to genetic throughout our facility. And we keep track of all that data in a very comprehensive SaaS platform, so you can keep track of runs over time. Every time you have a good run, you know exactly what you did. Every time you don't have a good run, you know exactly what to avoid on the next run. With that, we have the best horticulturalists in the game, Jason, Seth, and Noah, that are meeting with our clients on a weekly basis, helping them diagnose certain issues that are happening in your facility and help you develop irrigation strategies that are going to maximize yield and quality for your cultivation.
All right, we're here at the Quest booth, taking a look at some of the new units. So the last couple of years, Quest has rolled out, this is called the M-Core. So this is going to give you diagnostic codes. It's a lot easier to work on. They're a bit more efficient than before, which is new to the lineup. It's kind of nice. They've also updated their P-trap dimensions on all of the units, so it's very easy to see what drains all these units need. They also have a few other ancillary products like these fans. They're moving quite a bit of air, and the new mobile dehue that's ready to come in and out of your rooms.
A pre-evaporator, evaporator, and you have a post-evaporator, which is a recovery coil. And that's what's leading to our efficiency, right? So in the old format, we used to use we use the air-to-air heat exchanger on that, right? And so This new multi-coil technology is what's lending to our high efficiency, high pike per kilowatt hour on these units. The other piece that it lends to is a better balanced performance. Our performance curves are better, especially at the lower end when we're looking at derated conditions versus the competition. So versus the competition, the M-Core gives us greater efficiency, somewhere around between 30 to 50% more efficiency. The M-Core also gives us better capacity through the derated conditions. With the M-Core technology, there's a balance, right? Our performance curve doesn't drop. We don't drop as steeply as our competitors. It's more rounded. We take a little more time to get, how can I say this? Again, it's not as steep, right? It's a smoother curve. And let's say if you wanted to run a garden at 7050, a 746 compared to a heating unit like a 710, for example, is going to have more capacity and efficiency at that 7050. And so, again, you've got more horsepower at those lower dew points, especially at the end of flower. So on the old units, we did have that service panel, side panel for components. On the newer units, not only do we have the service panel up from the side, but we also now have a top service panel to get the coils for maintenance, for cleaning, but also, in case something that needs to, if you need to replace it.
So you can see the M-Core, the serviceability of this unit's been a little bit redesigned. This is where we have the top panel for service can come off. The front panel is a little bit more engineered. We have a TXV in these units now. Everything's right up front. The control panel that's giving you diagnostic codes. It's just generally been redesigned to be easier to work on, more friendly to service, and easier to diagnose. The PIP booth. PIP's got a booth on both sides. Dispensary cultivation looks like this year they have added greenhouse structures to their offering. PIP just makes life easy with the trays, the racks, and some new integrated products like this trellis net dispenser. The Dolly Parton game.